floor. Don't wanna open up my mouth, 'cause I'm afraid of what's gonna come out. Life is but a dream. This can't be happening. Wake up, scream. I'm in a twisted reality. Twisted.
Have you been to the area's premier radio-controlled hobby shop and raceway? Underground Raceway and Hobbies in Great Northern Mall has 2 indoor tracks for racing at every experience level. Don't have your own car? No problem. You can rent one from us. When you're ready to get your own, we've got an on-site hobby shop with everything you need, including all the popular brands. Underground Raceway and Hobbies has kits for land, sea, and air. Cars, boats, planes, you name it. Come see us next to Dick's in the Great Northern Mall in Clay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. Out of Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, riding for Adept Creative Co., number 16, Logan Leitzel. From Dallas, Texas, riding for Duncan Racing, number 28, Trevor Byrne. Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From New Jersey, riding for Underground RC, number 14, Matthias Janis. From Tampa, Florida, riding for Underground RC, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Scottsdale, Arizona, riding for Panini Motorsports, number 51, Payson Johnson. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for Panini Motorsports, number 24, Colby Eaglin. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, your defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter. From France, riding for Panini Motorsports, 2018 Supercross champion, and your current points leader, number 7, Alexis Leclerc. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. It's round 10 of the 2022 MotoOption Supercross Series, live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower. Excited to bring you guys the action from Detroit here tonight. That's right, we're throwing it back a couple weeks. For those of you that have been with us the last couple of weeks in Indianapolis and Seattle, you might remember that the Detroit Supercross was unfortunately postponed a few weeks back. So this is us making up that race in what would be the off week for MotoOption Supercross. So we're kind of making up a little bit of lost ground in this championship. Essentially, this is the 12th round of the championship, but we're still going to call it the 10th round of the championship, which means there have been 11 rounds raced to this point. And these last few weeks have been freaking credible with all the racing that we've had going all the way back to Daytona, and then Seattle and India as well were fantastic. So I'm not going to hang around any much longer here. I'm just going to jump right into all the topics that we have to talk about here tonight for the Detroit Supercross by taking a look at our qualifying times. First off, Braden Carter, your defending champion, at a 47.476 has gone fastest. I was talking to some of my teammates that are on the SYS Racing Heckman Productions team over there, and they thought that maybe guys would dip down into the 46s. If anybody, it would be Payson Johnson, but at this time, it appears Braden Carter has gone fastest. Johnson at a 47.554, just missing out on top time here tonight. Colby Eaglin, Jeremy Seabolt, and Alexis Leclerc. Interesting to see Seabolt back this week, as we've seen Seabolt over racing the MX Bikes series. So kind of cool to see the 2020 champ back in action here tonight in the 450 class. Of course, a lot of other talented riders looking down the order, as this is also an East round of the championship, and this is going to give us a little bit of a throwback because we just went West racing with Seattle last week. Now back on the East Coast. So Tanner Rogers, the Canadian, goes fastest at a 49.289, just barely nudging out Rogan McIntosh's 49.296 by, less than 1/100th of a second there in the end between the two of them. Bryce Whelan on a 49.3, Tyron Tomic on a 49.5, and Cade Matherly on a 49.7. All right in the mix. So everybody in those 49 ranges, you have to go all the way down to, looks like, Robert Wilson in 13th before he finds someone a full second down of that fastest time there by Tanner Rogers. Pretty interesting to see how close the times are in this 250 division. Of course, the 450 class has been epic through 11 rounds of this championship, and Alexis Leclerc has a slim margin at the top of the sheet here with a 1-point lead. Braden Carter finally able to exercise the demons a little bit last week and pick up the win in Seattle, but wasn't able to close too much up on Leclerc because Leclerc was in so many battles of his own right. Would have taken the points lead had Payson Johnson finished third last week, but Johnson going down in the last corner allowed Leclerc back through into the podium position, and he was able to take home third place, which means that Carter now sits just that lone 1 point down in the championship. And boy, oh boy, are we set and ready to go for the final 6 rounds of this series. It is going to be a lot of fun. Colby Eaglin, Payson Johnson, T-Lang inside the top 5, and everybody behind them over 100 points down. So the separation has been certainly a plenty in this 450 class out of this top 5 group, but the top 5 group has kept it interesting through these first 11 rounds. The 250 East Division, though, they kind of had a weird mid-zone in their championship, with Detroit being a postponed race, and then we had the Seattle Supercross run before Detroit anyway, so they had a couple races on, 1 week off, couple races on, another week off, now another race on, and then they'll be back next week in St. Louis as well, so they're kind of going 2-2-2 at a time. We've had 4 rounds of this championship so far, and Tyron Tomic has a healthy championship lead over Bryce Whelan, Ethan Gerst, Tanner Rogers, and Lane Wofford. So at this point, Tomic, who said that he might end up missing a few rounds of this championship, certainly sitting in a very good position to maybe even miss a round and still win the title, but we'll have to see how it all plays out tonight here in Detroit for the 10th round of MotoOption Supercross. Well, we'll get back in the server and take a look at things. First off, this Detroit racetrack, if you haven't already caught it earlier on, we did a little bit of a virtual lap. Of course, we've already seen the Detroit Supercross ran in real life, and a cool thing about it, too, is that the Race Factor Gaming track crew was able to take a little bit of time, now that we had a couple weeks since the real Detroit Supercross happened, and actually replicate the real Detroit Supercross track that we saw raced that weekend in real life. So this is actually a full-blown actual replica, which normally they're a little bit off because they're building it off of the track map, which comes out many months in advance of the race actually happening, and then once they get there and start building the track changes a little bit. Normally we race on the Wednesdays before a real Supercross, so racing it after the real Supercross this time, they're able to completely replicate the track. And yeah, so we got a full replica version of Detroit here on the docket tonight. I think the lines will end up being a little bit different than what we would have seen out of these guys in real life, so I may have been taking more or less the real life lines right there. I think you're going to see a lot more tripling in, a couple quads in some sections, and yeah, a lot of very differing lines than what we saw in the real life race. So that'll be kind of cool to see how it races in a video game compared to what we saw out of real life, where of course the track broke down quite a bit and there were a lot of deep ruts throughout the racetrack, slowing guys down from doing the big lines on the racetrack. Great to have you guys all with us tonight. Hopefully you're buckled up and ready to enjoy the show. I got to make sure I get the 250 heat number 1 name up here. So apologies for just a second here as we're going to get this put up there. 250 heat 1. We're ready to go and drop the gate here tonight in Detroit. Always good to see how many people still showing up and watching the live broadcast. As it was supposed to be an off week for MotoOption Supercross, I definitely didn't expect too many people to be showing up here tonight. So good to have you guys with us. Hopefully you enjoy the show. And if there's anything else we could do for you to make your experience tonight for watching MotoOption Supercross better, please be sure to let us know, and we're happy to make that happen. Yeah, dirt bikes and disc golf in here, says here before opening ceremonies ended. I think that's a new record for him. This will have to count as his watching SX racing for the week. Yeah, I mean, we have an off weekend this weekend for Monster Energy Supercross, so this is kind of a good way to get y'all's fill in and watch some racing because it's an off week, right? So kind of fill in the void a little bit. All right, so 250 heat 1 out on the racetrack. These guys are out on a parade lap right now. Tanner Scott out here, Dylan Cavacuti, Jet Wisdom, Zach Fisher, Hayden Stevenson, Bonnie Parker, Hayden Speck, Noah McLaughlin, and Talon Zollers, Jake Fisher, Alex Zellner, Brett Powers, Cody Senega, Robert Wilson, Cade Matherly, Brandon Holmes, Tammy Briscoe, John Heilman, and Bryce Whelan will make up the order in 250 heat number 1 here tonight. LK32 said, why did Russ Chapman get banned? I'm thinking he's talking about Rush Chapman. Good question, actually. I think that, if I remember right, he did a couple things with key sharing, which is a big frowned upon thing. And then when they let him back in, he was, I believe, taking riders out intentionally, like cutting across the track and doing a bunch of stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. So, 250 heat number 1 on the gate. Seth Shirley literally just sent me skins a minute ago after the stream started 20 minutes ago. So shout out Seth Shirley for completely missing the mark there. But here we go, 250 heat 1 right now in Detroit. That's some chaos coming into the first corner. A couple guys getting tangled up. Of course, the first turn this week is a complete 180. So these guys really having to get on the brakes hard. And it's going to be Caden Speck who grabs the early hole shot. He gets bumped aside, though. John Heilman takes over the race lead. The Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda for 44 machine out in front. It's Cody Senega who gave the bump and run there. He moved into second place momentarily, but he's alongside Bryce Whelan, or is that Tanner Rogers? Excuse me, that is Tanner Rogers on the 49 machine, your fastest qualifier here tonight. Moving up into that third place position here early on. trying to make a pass into second place. Battle for fourth is brewing a little bit. Hayden Stevenson and Tanner Scott as Cody Seneca goes down. So Tanner Rogers moves up to second. Stevenson up to third. Tanner Scott into fourth. And Talon Zollers now rounding out the top 5. Big quad over line there for Cade Matherly. And there's the first sign of some of these different option lines that we're really going to see out of these guys here tonight. Oh, Tony Spinelli, Spin Dog. Didn't even qualify top 40 here tonight. Hate to see it. Rough out in the streets for sure. Back to our race leader. It's a pair of Phil Ski and Snowboard Hondas, and it's about to be a change for the lead as going to the front is Tanner Rogers. Don't go to Canada anymore for MotoOption Supercross, but this is the closest we're going to get this year to Detroit, so a bit of a home race, as much so as it will possibly be for Tanner Rogers here. And a nice line there to jump past his teammate Heilman, who made a mistake in that first rhythm section. Shoots by into the race lead. So they're going 3-3-4-2 through this rhythm section, which is what I theorized about this racetrack way before they raced it in real life. But of course, the ruts broke down the racetrack. They're not able to do that in real life. So Rogers leads. Heilman back in second place. Tanner Scott has moved up into third. Alan Zollers in fourth, but he's casing the triple, and he's going to slide out, lose a position. That is Cade Matherly going by. Cade Matherly, by the way, shout out to Cade Matherly. I don't know if I've seen him since this happened, but he got a shout out from the Jet Lawrence on Race Day Live a few weeks back when Jet Lawrence thanked Cade Matherly for showing him the fast lines around the racetrack, I think in Indianapolis, in MX Simulator. So shout out Jet Lawrence also for playing sim as Matherly goes down into the berm, and he takes the 146 there of Tanner Scott with him and going down. Is that Tanner Rogers? No, that's Bryce Whelan picking it up from the crash as well. So Whelan gets going once again. He's going to triple into the corner behind these guys. Cody Seneca went by, as did Caden Speck. They have moved their way up into 6th and 7th respectively. Cade Matherly runs in 8th now with Whelan rounding out the final transfer spot in 9th. A bit of a gap behind him as well. So right now everybody looking pretty good to make it through, so long as there's not any more funny business or riders going down, as Whelan is really nailing that triple line. But I don't know if you can't get that quad at the end of the lane. I'm not sure if it works out too well. He's trying to get around Cade Matherly, spinning around on the start straight. That's Talon Zollers. So Zollers is going to go back into 9th place. Still in that final transfer position, but closing up, that's going to be the 40 of Brett Powers. Oh, and Zollers barrel rolls at the end of the whoops, found the trampoline in that second to last whoop, and he lawn darts off the side of the racetrack. So Powers moves into the final transfer spot. Going down behind him is Timmy Briscoe, but also down in this rhythm lane is Cade Matherly. So Matherly going to fall back into the final transfer spot. More riders going down. Quite crazy to see how it's all shaken down. Meanwhile, change for the lead has happened once again. These Phil's teammates having a bit of fun out here, swapping the race lead back and forth a bit. Not sure if Rogers made a mistake or if Heilman was able to just run him back down. But at the moment, Heilman has retaken the race lead here in 250 heat number 1. You can see back there Tanner Rogers trying to keep it close. And we might have a bit of a battle for the race lead starting to brew right here. Look at this. Rogers cutting back up the inside and dualies over the triple. Teammates. All right, so here's the split option right here. Heilman cases the triple in, but gets the next triple clean. Rogers, though, still closes up very nicely with that double into the corner. It seems like it's the better option for these 250 guys who are not able to bust that quad into the corner. I'm sure with the 450 riders later on, we'll see a couple guys at least attempt that quad. Right now, these 250 guys not able to get it. Even so, Heilman, despite going 3-3-3 and losing time, able to pull back away, but now here comes Rogers to the outside. He's going to try to quad double by for the race lead, and he's got it. So Tanner Rogers back to the front. We have 40 seconds left on the clock here, plus that single lap in 250 heat number 1, which is going for 6 minutes plus a lap. Top 9 transfers to the main event, of course, and all led around right now by your fastest qualifier, Tanner Rogers. looking to pick up right where he left off at the end of qualifying just a few moments ago and take the opening heat race victory of the night. That'll set him up well. Rest of the night for him will be spent putting some laps down in warm-up mode and getting ready to go for the main event coming up in a little bit here in Detroit. Hopping through the whoops, though. Time has just expired, so white flag will be waving this time by for Tanner Rogers. Looking smooth as butter out front. Got to be careful of that pole, though, on the inside. Oh, Heilman, he has gone down out of second place. And I think he is going to retain second place, though, as nobody for position was able to go by. We did see a lapped rider go by. That may have been Zach Fisher for Ver Moto back there. Bryce Wheelan has moved up to third. We got a Phil Ski and Snowboard 1, 2, 3. Noah McLaughlin running in fourth with Tanner Scott rounding out the top five. Brett Powers now back into sixth. Cade Matherly seventh. Jake Fisher in eighth with Cody Seneca going down right behind him in ninth. He's going to get going, but not before a couple riders go by. So Dylan Cavacuti and Hayden Stevenson both working their way around. And this is going to be a fun battle for the final transfer spot as the white flag is waving for these guys as well. So we know what our leaders are going to do, but what's going to happen for this final transfer spot? Stevenson under pressure from Dylan Cavacuti as Rogers takes the victory in Heat 1. This is going to get good. Who can get this rhythm lane the best? Stevenson, nice little scrub down line, trying to stay low. Oh, and off the side of the track goes Stevenson. Oh, and down the inside, Cavacuti laying it down in the berm. So Stevenson looks like he will survive unless somebody goes down or he just gets this whoop section all wrong. These guys are able to close up perhaps, but he looks like he's pretty solid. A couple small mistakes. Cody Seneca did kind of send it through there. Stevenson short on the triple in, not going to get the next triple. Step on, step off, into the corner. Look at this by Cody Seneca for the final transfer spot. Oh, and he's got it by 4/10. What a move. Down the inside, he did clip through some tough blocks, so we'll have to see whether or not he got some penalties applied post-race after that. Stevenson ends up in 10th. Cavacuti, in the end, just comes through there in 11th, and cuts have been applied, and it stays the same inside of the top 9. Incredible scenes there at the end of that heat race. Has taken the win, and also getting mounted by Brett Powers is Tanner Rogers. Well, that was a lot of fun, and there's more fun to be had coming up here in just a few moments. 50 Heat 2 coming up next, as we're here at round 10 of MotoOption Supercross in Detroit. Tanner Rogers having a bit of fun here with this motorcycle after winning that heat race. Loving it. All right, so coming up next in 250 Heat number 2, we should see our championship leader, Tyrone Tomic. We'll see how he fares on this Detroit soil here tonight. Jessica Sink says, real Supercross is kind of boring because Craig is dominating 250 West, Hunter Lawrence dominating 250 East, and Tomac dominating 450s. It's actually Jet Lawrence on the 250 East, but I know what you're getting at. I mean, even so, Jet Lawrence only has a 11-point lead in the championship, so he's won 4 of the 5 rounds, but he's not got a huge championship lead. It's still pretty close. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens at that showdown and whether or not maybe McAdoo can claw some points back. Waiting to see how many guys hit the 3-4 after the SX triple hits a huck. I have heard some of my teammates saying that the 3-3-4 option is a little bit easier in the long rhythm lane after the Supercross triple. But yeah, if you could go 3-4-3, obviously you're staying a little bit lower, not hitting the up face of the 5-foot single. You're downsiding it instead. But certainly a huck to downside a 5-foot single off a 3-foot single in a quad situation. The 2022 Hendrick Motorsports Fanatic says, will you show practice and qualifying sessions for this series in the future? No, we won't, because everybody qualifies in a different server. There's like 5 different qualifying servers, so you never are going to see the fastest riders at any one given time putting hot laps down. And quite honestly, doing a 3-hour broadcast, it's already a little bit time consuming and tedious as it is. Like, I really enjoy doing it, but you know, I only have so much voice to give and so much time of my day to give up. If I did show qualifying, I would literally not even see my family at all during the day, because I would go straight from work to this, and my daughter would go to sleep before I even get to really see her. So yeah, I take that time after my workday is done and before this stream starts to hang out with my family. So no, I will not be showing practice or qualifying of MotoOption Supercross anytime soon. All right, 250 heat number 2 coming up. Next Supercross 5 episode is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Trying to do at least an episode a week, if not 2. But also everybody's really been into the MTX Mototrack series that I've been doing. So also trying to get that out as well, while continuing on with our regularly scheduled programming. All right, back into the server for 250 Heat 2. We have got Dylan Love, HHR. We got Luke Fauser, Lane Wofford, Carson West, Blake Franklin, Braden Tharp, Trent Adams, Noah McLaughlin, Adrian Wilson, Frank Jackson, Brett Thomas, Rogan McIntosh, Tyron Thomas, there's your points leader, Chase Blakely, Tristan Powell, James Ohashi, Johnny Padani, Austin Bear, Jeff Giffen, and myself in warm-up mode. I think we missed one other rider perhaps up here as well. Maybe not. Frank Jackson, perhaps. There is the number 32 Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda rider, though. Next MTX Mototracks episode coming out on Friday. We just released one yesterday on Tuesday. So trying to space them out pretty evenly during the weeks. Probably expect Tuesday, Friday episodes for the foreseeable future. All right, folks. 250 Heat number 2 on the gate. The 30 card will go sideways. The track crew runs off the racetrack, and we're ready to go in Detroit for 250 Heat 2. Wow, Tomic, I think he timed the gate to perfection. He actually hit the gate as it went down. He's going to sneak up the inside and come out with the whole shot. Let's see if he holds the lead into the second turn. And he will. Tomic on the Connect Visual, KTM takes over the race lead. The 21 of Chase Blakely settles in right behind him. Nice triple in over. Is he able to go for the quad? No, backs out and goes for the 3-1. Nobody liking that outside line. We'll see maybe that outside comes into play a little bit later on tonight when the track wears down. Tomic kind of hopping through the whoops a little bit there. Chase Blakely bouncing through as well. And a nice little group established here at the front. Everybody kind of hitting the main lines here of the top 5. You got Dylan Love, Frank Jackson, Noah McLaughlin, all finding their way right up to the front here early on. And Jackson trying to make a move there on Dylan Love. 174 HHR Husqvarna rider. Not quite close enough just yet, though, to make it happen as Tomic continues to lead the race. So nobody, aside from Tomic, is tripling in right here. But as mentioned, I think with these 250 guys, the double in line is just as viable because you can carry that double into the corner. You're basically getting the same amount of pop up off of each jump. And, yeah, really just staying low as well. So we'll see whether the 3-line works as down goes Blakely out of second place. The BPC Kawasaki rider hitting the deck hard. Let's see if he'll be able to remount still in a transfer spot. His riders come through now. Dylan Love ends up wrong direction on the racetrack. Gonna get it spun around and get going behind Lane Wofford here. So Wofford was able to go by. Rogan McIntosh through as well. Now up on McLaughlin as Jackson gets hung up in the corner and McIntosh goes down. So teammates making contact right there. McIntosh is going to get going just as Dylan Love gets there. And Blakely did remount in the final transfer spot still. He might actually still make a pass on McIntosh's. Oh, getting landed on there. 46 of Carson West lands on Rogan McIntosh, who got the first, the on-off before the triple jump all wrong. And he goes down again. So I believe that changes who's in the final transfer spot now. Yes, it is. Adrian Wilson moves up to the final transfer spot, the Adept Creative Code number 759 machine. Blakely shoots up to 7th, but he's going to go down in the whoops again. Wow, Blakely really struggling with the whoop section here tonight in Detroit. So he's off the inside of the track again. 2 laps in a row, he's hit the deck going through that whoop section. Now back here with Johnny Padani. Padani going to jump by Luke Fauser. Back to our race leader, Tyron Tomic, halfway through this heat race. Looking comfortable out front. Yeah, just hitting his marks, really. This is kind of what we needed to see out of Tomic. Swinging back another break in this 250 East Championship. The postponement of Detroit was already a weekend off, and then you have the Seattle Supercross mixed into the middle of it, another weekend off. So 2 races, an off week, 2 races, an off week, and now back at it here for essentially what is the 5th round of the 250 East Championship. And Tomic looking as comfortable as ever. Big championship lead. Might even be able to wrap this thing up around early depending on the circumstances moving forward, but boy, oh boy, at the halfway point of this championship, does he look solid. Carrying good speed through the whoops. Nice little hop out. Frank Jackson has moved up into 2nd place as he gets kicked a little bit sideways. He's going to go down at the end of the whoops. So going by, that is Noah McLaughlin on the 124. Trent Adams also swinging through. Lane Wofford on the 27. And Jackson remounts now in 5th place. Adrian Wilson coming through in 6th. Carson West in 7th. Dylan Love in 8th. And Luke Fauser rounds out the final transfer positions at the moment. Let's see if the limited decal rider on this Husqvarna is able to hold on as the 21 of Chase Blakely closes up from behind. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Fauser, big name amateur kid. KTM Orange Brigade rider. Kind of cool to see some more familiar faces from the amateur scene, like we've seen with Casey Cochran jumping up and racing, J.R. Reyes, and now Luke Fauser showing up and ready to play here tonight in MotoOption Supercross from Detroit. Trying to make his, what I would assume would be his first career main event in this 250 division, but he's dealing with pressure from one of the greats in this game, Chase Blakely, multi-time outdoor national race winner, podium finisher in Supercross before as well. Going to try to triple over top of Fauser to move into that final transfer spot, but we got a rider down as Fauser goes through the front door. Dylan Love was down. That was Fauser's opportunity to stay in transfer spot. Meanwhile, Braden Tharp is going to move through into the final transfer spot, and time is about to expire, so our race leaders should get, let's see. Yeah, here's Tomic. Ooh, it is going to be very close, actually, in the end. Tomic coming to the flag. Time just expired and then crossed, so white flag is indeed waving, but it was only 2 seconds to the good right there. Tomic comfortably out front, though, as Lane Wofford's moved up to 2nd. Adams now 3rd. McLaughlin 4th, and Jackson in 5th. Chase Blakely bouncing through the whoops in 6th. Carson West here in 7th. Tharp 8th. Going down. Braden Tharp just went down. So Johnny Padani is going to move into the final transfer spot. Almost jumping onto the back there of Adrian Wilson. And also closing up right behind him is Dylan Love. Dylan Love going for it on Johnny Padani for the final transfer spot. Look at this. To the inside, Padani's going to get by Adrian Wilson right there. Push Wilson back to the final transfer spot. Can Dylan Love sneak up and make something happen as Tomic takes the heat race victory here in Detroit. Oh, Wilson going to try and move perhaps on Padani into the corner right here. He doesn't even need this position for a transfer spot, but he's just trying to put a buffer between himself and Padani as we go through the whoops. Padani getting kicked a little bit. He's going to try to make a move on Wilson. No, backs out of the challenge. Dylan Love cuts back underneath. It's a drag race. Dylan Love tripling over top, trying to make it happen. Padani goes down. Love is going to short the triple into the final corner, but he's going to make it through in 8th. Wilson goes through in 9th. Padani, Tharp, Giffen, Luke Fauser, Austin Bear, all going to be headed to the LCQ. James Ohashi, Rogan McIntosh. As cuts are in, let's see if it changed anything in the top 9. And it appears it did not. Tyron Tomic takes the win here in 250 heat number 2. All right, 450 heat 1 coming up next. Back in studio, Kellen Brower bringing you guys the action here tonight for round 10 of MotoOption Supercross. Getting ready to continue on with the 450 class, which has been tremendous, as we have mentioned leading into the show here tonight. 1 point separating Alexis Leclerc, your championship leader, and Braden Carter, your defending champion, 11 rounds deep into this championship. And at this point, tough to tell whether or not they're going to even slow down at this point. It's been quite incredible to see the battles. If you haven't been with us the last few weeks of MotoOption Supercross, really Daytona, Indianapolis, and Seattle were 3 of maybe even the best main events we've ever seen in MotoOption Supercross. Certainly so, Indianapolis was incredible, and it seemed like it just got wicked up again with more chaos in Seattle last week. These guys are racing hard, and it's been very incredible to see how their pace is, and yeah, all the crazy stuff that they're doing week in and week out. So we'll see if it continues. All right, we got a lot of questions filing in chat. Sorry. Kellen, do you know who Craig signed a 2-year deal with? I do not. What is your favorite rider, past or present, from Supercross? My guy all time is Ben Townley. Obviously, he's retired now, but I was a big Ben Townley fan. Pretty much his whole career. Followed him early on in Europe. When he came over and rode for Pro Circuit in the U.S., I was a big fan. I still have... Let me see if I can find it. Somewhere around here, I have a photo of myself on a Kawasaki in my Super Mini days winning a race with the number 101. Can't find it, though. Not sure where I put it. Somewhere around here, though. Aha! There we go. This is me on a Super Mini, and but this is me on a Super Mini winning a race, number 101 on a Cowie. Big Ben Townley fan. You know how it goes. Let's see. Nathan McLaughlin says, "Yo, did you download my skins I sent a few rounds ago? I'm not really sure. I download everything that's sent to me and ends up in the skins thread, so I should have it, but if I don't, I apologize." All right. So we got a bunch of people saying some different stuff in here. I got to reconnect to the server. Here's the thing about Jet, right? It's interesting to see it, to hear how hard people think that the media is leaning on Jet. It might be like Race Day Live and the NBC shows and stuff like that are leaning on Jet, but what none of you guys realize, and you won't realize it till it's here, it's going to be twice as bad when Deegan turns pro. Promise you. Promise you. So if you're annoyed with how much attention Jet is getting right now, it'll be way worse when Deegan gets here. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. I think it's actually good for our sport to focus on the people that are popular. But, yeah. Don't complain about Jet, because 2 years from now it's going to be worse. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 450 heat, number 1 on the gate and ready to go. We got Leclerc, we got Haley, Sullivan, and the rest of them. Here we go from Detroit. Drag race into the first corner. Trevor Spencer gets to the corner first, but it's Carter sneaking up the inside who actually got the whole shot. Spencer's going to take over the race lead once again. Not sure why I don't have Spencer's skins. I don't know if BPC had an update that I missed or something like that, but I got his helmet and everything, so Maybe they did something new. I really don't know. But either way, he's got the race lead right now on Braden Carter. Uh-oh, Carter down the inside before the whoop's going to take it away. So the champ goes to the front. Carter, jumping off the side of the racetrack, now into the tough blocks and almost went down. Spencer going to go back to the race lead, but now he lays it down and gets into Luke Magnetti, who gets sideways over the top of the jump, and Carter goes back to the front. Luke Sullivan's going to move into second place as Spencer remounts still in third, Alec Horn in fourth, and Enzo Butigny rounding out the top five, but somebody just went down right there. That may have been Alec Horn. We did see Leclerc go down coming out of the second turn. Drag race down the start straight, though. You can see Sullivan putting some pressure here on Carter. Kind of seems like Sullivan wants to go to the race lead in this heat race. Got a better drive through the whoops, but then a big kick at the end may have cost him a little bit of time. Carter a little bit short on both the triple and the quad in that rhythm, but was still able to stretch it out. Sullivan went invisible there for a second. A little bit of lag issues and then comes back into sliding out. So losing some ground. It's still Trevor Spencer there in third place. And Leclerc, after his early crash, has moved his way up into fourth. So a nice recovery for our points leader. Really comes down to whether or not he beats Carter in the main event tonight as to whether he retains the red plate. If Carter beats him, Carter goes to the points lead. Essentially speaking, if they finish 5th and 6th, for example, they would be tied on points, and any, mix of the 1 point gaps behind that. But if they finish inside of the top 5 and Carter beats Leclerc, Carter will assume the championship lead. But Leclerc has been good. He just hasn't quite been good enough these last few weeks. T-Lang winning the 2 rounds from Daytona and Indianapolis, but then Carter winning in Seattle. You can see Colby Eaglin back there in 4th place, or 5th place, excuse me, getting a little bit close here to Leclerc, but not really putting all that much pressure just yet on the 7. Kind of just hopping through this rhythm section. Nobody really busting the quad yet. And our front group has stayed the same. Carter's still pulling away out front. But he goes down. OJ's onto the face of the tabletop. Goes down. So Sullivan goes to the lead. This should, put Trevor Spencer back into second as well. Carter's going to remount just ahead of Leclerc. And then Eaglin rounds out our top 5. Wilcox runs in 6th. Castellaneta 7th. Devin Davis in 8th. Joey Van Wessel in 9th, excuse me. And then Logan Leitzel back here in 10th. I'm not sure why Leitzel is running his regular skins for his jersey and helmet, but then running someone's Connect Visual KTM here tonight. Leitzel just carrying speed to that outside, trying to make something happen here. Look at the drive down the start straight. But he almost goes down, gets into the side there. It was Devin Davis who was down. So that shifts around. Joey Van Wessel went down as well. So I think Bordeaux may have just moved into the final transfer spot. He did. Johan Bordeaux. I'm going to go back and see what's going on here. So Sullivan from Carter now in second. Spencer has slipped back to third with pressure from behind from Leclerc and Eaglin closing in. Leclerc's still not going for the quad. Look at Eaglin, though. He did go for the mid-quad and went down. He had the line, but going down in front of him, Trevor Spencer actually caused Eaglin to come to near a dead stop coming into the corner, and eventually he hits the deck as well. So Eaglin able to regroup now behind Thomas Wilcox. It's still Sullivan leading from Carter, Leclerc, Spencer, and now this battle right here between Wilcox, Eaglin, and Braden Castellaneta. But our front 4 or so have broken away as the battle for 5th continues to rage on here. 250 Heat 1, or 450 Heat 1, excuse me, in Detroit. Thought for a second Eaglin was going to try an inside move on Wilcox. Backed out of the challenge. Instead goes triple single through here to the inside to move into 5th place. Let's see if he gets it done, or will Wilcox on the outside get the power down? Uh-oh. Eaglin's lagging out a little bit here. Comes back into frame, but now behind Wilcox again. Now he's lagged out again. Oh, Colby Eaglin dealing with some serious internet issues right now. You can just barely see his reflections lagging in and out. Now it's stuck in midair. Tough go right now for Eagland. Back to our race leader out front. Time has expired. So the white flag will come out this time by for Luke Sullivan. Doubling in, carrying speed through the whoops. You got Carter trying to close that gap back down, and some lap traffic starting to come into play a little bit here. See if Sullivan's able to find a smooth way around these guys, or is he going to be held up a little bit here? Ryder's going down in front of him. That's Bob Joe on the 91. And Joey Van Wessel not moving out of side either, as he's still trying to fight for his positions. Finally, Sullivan's able to split the difference, go between Van Wessel and Boutigny. Now Carter's scrubbing down the triple, trying to make a pass on Van Wessel. I mean, it's a heat race, so these guys are trying to go for their transfer spots, but tough look when you're going a lap down and you're not doing a good job moving out of the way. Carter finally able to clear Van Wessel here. Sullivan getting a couple kicks through the whoops. Carter got a great run. This is going to come down to the last turn, perhaps. Sullivan, if he gets this rhythm line good, will be good to go, and he does. So double to the inside of the corner, and Sullivan takes Heat 1 in Detroit. Carter second, Leclerc third. That'll set us up very well for the main event later on tonight. Trevor Spencer going to slide through here in 4th. Thomas Wilcox on the on-offs down here in 5th. Magnetti in 6th. Eaglin 7th. Jeremy Smith moves up to 8th. And Braden Castellaneta goes through in 9th. Bordeaux misses out. Devin Davis, Leitzel, Van Wessel, saves Horn, Boutigny, Bob Joe, Post, and Haley will all be headed to the last chance qualifier as we await for cuts to come in and confirm our race results here from 450 heat number 1. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a quick gander through the top 9, and nothing changes. Castellaneta still getting that final spot to the main event. Everybody else behind him going to the last chance qualifier. Luke Sullivan, the big winner, though, of heat number 1. All right, so 450 heat number 2 coming up next. And we already saw the top 3 in the championship. So what do we got left? We still got Payson Johnson. We still got Tyler Lang. Still got a lot of other guys ready to do battle and fight here tonight in Detroit for making it into the main events. All right, as mentioned, 450 Heat 2 coming up next. And then the heat racing will be done. Last chance qualifiers will be up after that. Of course, those riders will be going for 5 minutes plus a lap, with the top 4 riders transferring through into the main events to create 2 22-rider main events for round 5 of 250 East and round 12 of MotoOption Supercross in the 450 division. All right, taking a look at what's going on in the server, getting ready for 450 heat number 2. Jeremy Seabolt back in action this week. He's ready to go to battle. Also have Jacob Hubbard, Chase Donovan, Matt Cromie, Adam Holm, Ben Parks, Seth Shirley, Jay Turner, Payson Johnson, Maxime Vanderbeek, Holden Coate, Casey Cochran, Casey Ohlert, Brandon Nygren, Trevor Burns, Jaden Wilson, Matthias Janis, Caleb Hall, Tyler Lang, and that is the field. What's up, Clibby? Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy the show for as long as you're here, good sir. All right, who shall we watch off the start? Maybe Seth Shirley. He's got a good inside gate here. We got Johnson and Seabolt all the way down the inside. Lang right next to them with Cochran on the 20. Here we go. It's 450 Heat 2 in Detroit. Drag race into the first corner. Holm is going to be the first one there on the 17, and he will get out of the first turn first as well. Got T-Lang right there behind him. Payson Johnson also in the mix, but it's Adam Holm on the ATOM.com Gas who leads the field early on here on the number 17 machine. Johnson quickly into second place. Let's see if he's able to bust out into the quads. No, Holm gets the quad into the corners. So look at that. First we've really seen someone on camera bust it out. Johnson goes defensive on T-Lang right there. Not sure what's going on right there. That's Seth Shirley on the 23, the 14 of Janis, the 25 there of Jaden Wilson. All right in tow in this early train. So it seems like most everybody got through the first turn clean, and a lot of the heavy hitters found their way out front as Lang goes a little bit long on the quad, but lands nose heavy, as you should in this game to survive a fall-off crash. Has some pressure there from Seth Shirley, but now able to establish a bit of a gap. Now we're going to see whether or not Payson Johnson's got anything tricky up his sleeve in this long rhythm lane. We've heard about the triple quad. Let's see if he goes for it. Triple in. Nope. Triple again. Does he go for the quad? No, neither of them do. So triple, 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 single into the corner. Going to the high line to the outside, trying to get that power down. Johnson into the inside in this corner. Late on the brakes on Holm. He's going to get the pass done, but Holm's trying to fight back in the whoops. Johnson goes to shut the door there. Now Holm's kind of hopping. He's going to go to the inside for the race lead again. Johnson squares back off. They're both tripling in. They get together, and Holm goes down. So Holm got it a little bit wrong as Johnson crossed over from the inside line, and he takes over the race lead. 4 minutes and a lap still to go. It's Johnson out front. Jaden Wilson now moves up into second place with Janis right there in third. So what happened to T-Lang? Looks like he's dropped some positions. Right on the underground RC Suzuki, slipping back into 8th position by the looks of it, just ahead now of Maxime Vanderbeek, who's slipping down the order. As battle for second continues on here. Double line for Wilson. Single down the inside there for Janis, who's going to come out better in the split. Looks like Wilson so far. Got a rider down at the end of the whoops, but it was not Johnson. 5-rider train entering the whoops right now. Wilson, Janis, with Cochran there in 4th place. And a battle between Jeremy Seabolt and Casey Ohlert going on behind them. We'll swing back to those battle for the final transfer positions here in a few moments, but the battle for second is still a good one. Wilson trying to keep a bit of a gap between himself and Matthias Janis. Ooh, Wilson again, a little long there. So same thing again, double to the inside. Janis able to triple single, closes that gap back down again. So we're going to see whether or not Janis can get a run in the whoops right here. Yeah, just kind of following him in. It's like Wilson actually maybe a little bit better on this half of the racetrack. Down on what would be the south side of the stadium. But now Janis might have an inside move right here. Let's see who comes out better in the split option. Double Dragons, double versus Over Dragons, triple to the inside for Janice. No, it ends up on the outside. Can't quite get that pass done just yet. Both kind of scrub over this triple, and we'll see if Janice can get this rhythm completed smoothly again. He's just been putting the pressure on Wilson. Wilson this time does get the triple singles, so he has got it clean right there. Good little battle going on, though. It seems like Janice can't quite figure out a spot. And Wilson just riding a good defensive race here. Keeping the 14 machine behind him with the 18 of Siebold just sitting back there hoping these two get together. Go back to the battle for the final transfer spot because it looks a little bit nuts. Jacob Hubbard, I believe, has it. No, excuse me. He's outside looking in. Vanderbeek has gone through into the final transfer spot. Hubbard trying to show a nose to the Belgian. Can't quite get in there. Now Cochran made a mistake in the rhythm section. Vanderbeek's going to shoot by past the 20. And you also have the 5 of Lang back there. He's trying to go to the inside of Hubbard on the finish line jump. He might get it as Vanderbeek goes off the track. Cochran slides through. Hubbard's going to go to the final transfer spot. Lang down the inside. He's going to go to the final transfer spot. Boy, who wants this ticket to the main event? Look at Hubbard trying to get back to the inside again on Lang. Not going to get there just yet. Vanderbeek's still lurking right there. Nygren on the Boots House Yamaha with Trevor Burns back there on the Duncan Cowie. Lang putting pressure on Cochran. Off the side of the track goes the 259. But he is a lap down. That's Jay Turner. All these guys getting that triple quad double through here rather cleanly. Now Hubbard has moved into the final transfer spot. I thought it was Lang. Who did we lose? I'm not seeing anybody specifically falling out of this group, but it looks like all these guys are now in transfer spot, but Lang goes down. Oh, Lang hitting the ground, going to lose some position, so Trevor Burns will shoot through into the final transfer spot. All right, I am back. Apologies for that. Just saying goodnight to my daughter again. And taking a look at what's going on. Jaden Wilson has now taken over the race lead, and he is coming to the white flag this time by. He just cased the triple mid-rhythm, though. Here comes Matthias Janis. And a freight train of others. Siebold also in this group. Over the finish line jump, they go. So Wilson trying to lead the final lap of the race. Get a heat race victory here if he can. Siebold's also lurking back there. Janice is sandwiched between the Panini Motorsports teammates. Anybody able to bust the quad here? I have to imagine Siebold will have tried it. Oh, it's following line. Jaden Wilson trying to hold on for this heat race victory with Janice and Siebold right behind him. Through the whoops we go. Who will come out on top at the end of this straightaway? Wilson, quad, very smooth to the inside. Jaden Wilson wins 450 Heat 2 here in Detroit. Janice in second, Siebold third, and Johnson crosses the line in fourth behind them. Casey Ohlert looks like he's going to the main event tonight out of fifth, with Casey Cochran back here in sixth place. Jacob Hubbard in seventh. Adam Holm, goes down in eighth. Nygren coming through. Will shoot through into eighth. Holm trying to get going before Vanderbeek gets there, but Vanderbeek just gets there in time to go through in the final transfer spot. Seth Shirley, Adam Holm, T. Lang, Trevor Burns, Caleb Hall, Matt Cromie, Holden Cody, Ethan Parks, and Jay Turner, and Tyler Shields as well, all going to the last chance qualifier. All right, cuts are in. Wilson holds on for the race victory. And Vanderbeek holds on to the final transfer spot. All right. Heat race action done here in Detroit. You know what that means, folks? It's LCQ time, baby. This is where the good stuff goes on right here. Love these LCQs. Back in studio with you guys, Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action from round 10 of MotoOption Supercross here in Detroit. Are we ready for some LCQs? I am. I don't know about you guys. I am certainly ready to watch these guys absolutely sending it for the final 4 transfer spots to the main event. And if you're ready, go ahead and like the video, you know? Just make it easy for yourself. Hit that thumbs up button. Make yourself feel real good. How's chat doing tonight? Everybody doing well in the chat as well? Good to see y'all hanging out. All right, let's see. Tony Spinelli says, why do you think Barcia sends it for podium spots? Because... why not? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. My bad. Who's your championship pick for next year's... Next year's one? Like Supercross? I don't know. So tough to tell. Could be anybody. Any fights in the LCQ? There might be. I don't know. We might see some fists being thrown. Oh, yeah. Beast. MX Rider 12 chilling. What is up, JVL? Good meeting you this weekend as well. Met a lot of really cool people in Seattle, but JVL specifically ran into you hanging out at the SGB pits. Great to see you. Good to have you at the broadcast tonight as well. Hetty Shreddy joined the races, says cheers, dude. No, cheers to you, good sir. I still have a little bit left of my old fashioned. So cheers to you, good sir. Chase Blakely, yeah, baseball replica jersey. J-Rob signed it for me, actually. It's signed right there. So shout out J-Rob. Thanks for signing it and handing it over. Love it. Probably one of my favorite jerseys I've ever gotten. It was really cool to be a part of Adam Entiknap's music video for Supercross 3 the game. So I have a signed jersey from that, which is also pretty darn cool. Cool memory. But yeah, Jerry giving me the Padres themed jerseys, freaking sick. Love it. Thank you, Ashton. I appreciate it, buddy. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hendrick Motorsports Fanatic says, I won the 450 title career mode and got my number changed to 1, but Tomac's number is still 1. Do you think Milestone will fix that patch in Supercross 5? No, because they've never done it before. Who's my motocross pick? I don't know. Good freaking question. My working theory right now is that Ken Roczen has won every 450 Outdoor Championship in the season in which he's leaving a team. I think he's leaving Factory Honda at the end of the year. So by that logic, when he left KTM at the end of the year, he won the title. When he left Suzuki at the end of the year, he won the 450 Outdoor title. So, hey, when he leaves Honda at the end of the year, maybe he'll win the 450 Outdoor title. I don't know. Just random theories at this point. Who the heck really knows? All right, 250 LCQ time, loaded back on the gate and ready to go in Detroit. The outside, it's Crotty, or no, excuse me, Spec on the 41. I was thinking 71 for Crotty, but Spec on the 41 grabs the whole shot. Looks like that's Johnny Padani moving into second place there. Oh no, it's Jet Wisdom. Oh man, so many different riders to get used to in this 250 class again. Talon Zollers runs into the back of Jet Wisdom and goes down. That allows Holmes and Tharp through. Timmy Briscoe also in the mix. But now Briscoe goes down. He's taking some riders with him. Several riders going down in the second rhythm lane. Yeah, everybody just kind of getting stacked up right here. Dylan Cavacuti, he was also in a good position in the heat race, ends up in this LCQ as well. So early on, it's Spec in the lead. Austin Bear now in the second. Tharp and Brandon Holmes battling for third. It's going to go to Holmes for the time being, but Tharp will remain in the final transfer spot in fourth. Pulling up alongside right there, though. Nice scrub over the triple. Holmes trying to put a bit of a gap between himself and Tharp as the battles ensue behind both of these guys. So Tharp right now, he's on the bubble spot there in fourth place, but he has just enough of a gap, I think, right now behind him to not worry too much, as the 182 of Talon Zollers and the 60 of Rogan McIntosh closing up from behind is down in the whoops. That is going to be one of the Adept Creative Co. Yamaha riders. It is Austin Bear. Austin Bear hitting the deck. Now we'll promote Zollers into transfer spot, and McIntosh, excuse me. McIntosh also getting around Braden Tharp. So McIntosh into fourth. These guys still jockeying for those positions, though, so really anybody's guess on who comes out in the front of this group. Caden Speck has got a nice lead, and it's continuing to extend, but now the battle for second. Brandon Holmes and Rogan McIntosh, these two going at it. Coming down the start straight right there. But this is just for second, so they're both in transfer spot. It's really this battle back here between Zollers and Tharp that we got to keep an eye on. Look at this. Zollers, inside move almost into the side of Tharp, who's still able to bust the triple in. And then down went McIntosh. So that should put, and then, oh my goodness. Now Tristan Powell goes down. Guys running into some problems here. More riders down. That's Tharp. That should put Zollers and Jeff Giffen both into transfer spots. Actually, Zollers just going to hold on to fourth right here. Jeff Giffen trying to cut back underneath there on the 329. Zollers with the cross jump. They get together, and they're both down. Austin Bear goes through into the final transfer spot. So Austin Bear now moves into fourth. Braden Tharp settles back into fifth place. And we'll see whether or not any more of this chaos continues from this point onward. Johnny Padani is back here lurking. He'd like to make something happen if possible. Oh, somebody just got cleaned in the background as well. So back to our race leader, Caden Speck. Things have kind of settled down for him. Really just kind of controlling this race from the front. It's more about what's going on behind him that we've had to keep an eye on. Clean through the whoops. Haven't really done much onboard action, so let's go ahead and do it now with the man in fourth place, Austin Bear. See what this track looks like from an onboard perspective. Kind of hopping through the whoops there a little bit, but nice job to kind of pull it back in. Triple. Quad clean. McIntosh just went down. Tharp is going to shoot into fourth. So Rogan McIntosh got the rhythm section wrong that we were just going through right there, and Braden Tharp is back into the final transfer spot. He's already kind of closing up a little bit on Austin Bear, so things are about to get wild, but now doesn't necessarily have to force the issue. He's got a bit of a gap behind him. Time will expire this time through, so 2 to go for these guys right now. Double, triple, double. Uh-oh, our race leader's gone down. Caden Speck is down at the exit of the whoops. Brandon Holmes will shoot through into the race lead. Speck now back to second. And then this battle coming through that we've been watching for third place between Tharp and Austin Bear. Tharp getting the triple in, triple over on Bear. And Holmes just went down again. Johnny Padani is going to go into the final transfer spot. We have another rider down? Yeah, we do. Tharp went down. Wow. So Speck continues to lead the race now. Bear moves into second. Padani up to third. And Holmes all the way back to fourth. McIntosh still has a shot at it here in fifth place, especially if things really kick off with the guys ahead of him. Double, triple, triple, double through the rhythm lane. Looking solid, but obviously the Whoops have reached up and bit a few guys here in the closing moments of this last chance qualifier. Will it happen again? Bear into the Whoops. Hopping a little bit, but looks good. Johnny Padani smooth on top. Brandon Holmes got them very well as out front. Caden Speck takes the LCQ victory. Austin Bear looks like he will finish this one up in second. Padani in third. And Brandon Holmes goes to the main event in fourth place. Jeff Giffen, Braden Tharp, Talon Zollers, Rogan McIntosh, Blake Franklin, Hayden Stevenson, Alex Zellner, Brett Thomas, Timmy Briscoe, Buddy Parker, Zach Fisher, Dylan Cavacuti, James Ohashi, Tristan Powell, Jet Wisdom, and Luke Fauser will all miss out on the main event here tonight in Detroit. They'll be watching the main events from the cheap seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the 450 last chance qualifier here tonight at Detroit. Ashton G says, do y'all think Roxon retires or does a few more years of Supercross and Motocross? And talking to the people that I've talked to, I think that there's a very real possibility he ends up in MXGP next year and then retires at the end of 2023, but I do not believe retirement is on the cards for the end of 2022. I think he will be racing somewhere in 2023, but where, I don't really know just yet. Yeah, I just saw F1 is going to Las Vegas. That's going to be pretty cool. Well, I mean, I'm personally a fan of going to real racetracks, so I'm not stoked on the street course version. But yeah, I'll probably go to the Vegas F1 race just because I'm not too far from it, and it'll be kind of a fun event to go to, I think. So yeah, stoked for it. Do I think Talladega Superspeedway will host a Supercross event in the future? I don't really think so, no. I think that Supercross, their goal usually is to try to go to big metropolitan areas. So I know Daytona isn't really that, but, you know, like Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's not too far away from Atlanta. And then if they went to like Las Vegas Motor Speedway, for example, I have no idea if they will or not. I just, you know, throwing something out there. But if they did, it's not too far away from Vegas, for example. They just like being close to big cities. It's just kind of in their mantra. So Talladega not being close to a massive city. I know that there's some cities that are close by that are big in Alabama, but a massive city, you know, like a metropolis area, I just don't think that I really foresee them going there. Vox says, I just got MXS yesterday, finally putting a lap down without crashing today on one of the stock tracks. Should I send my skins directly to you, Kellen, or put on a forum? I'm RF ready. Yeah, just send them to me. That's what pretty much everybody does. So just message me in Discord like 6 times every single year with your updated skin packs that you update every 3 rounds because somebody on your team didn't like the fat bars that you had on, so you got to put the twin walls, and then the next week after that you got to put a front brake rotor disc guard around the front of the bike right there, just because someone didn't really like the way it looked when they whipped one time. Just didn't really look right, so they weren't too stoked on it. So by round 6, you got the second pack in. Round 9 usually is when you like a dyno change. You know, someone's getting sick of the Husky dyno, so you probably want to either switch to the KTM, maybe the Honda if you're feeling good. So you'll update the skin pack again to that Honda dyno, and then maybe twice more before the season is over. Just, you know, one more update to the pack to add a couple more sets of gear because you're getting sick and tired of the 24 you've already put in there. And then, of course, right before the finale, one final update pack just before outdoors starts. Really just for the hell of it, because that's what people love doing. So here we go. Time for the 450 Last Chance Qualifier. Getting ready to drop the gate here tonight in Detroit. All right, folks. 4 people go through. Who are they going to be? Underway here in Detroit for the LCQ. We're looking at Trevor Burns. He's getting swallowed up off the start here. A lot of guys getting pushed wide. And it's going to be Benjamin Saves with the hole shot. So Saves out front. Adam Holm is in this one. Remember, he was leading the heat race earlier on, so tough to see for the 17 machine. But Saves from Holm, Van Wessel, and Bordeaux early on, with Trevor Burns just behind Johan Bordeaux. Burns actually kind of low-lined off the side of the track, gained some time, but then almost went down, coming in the corner, and does go down. Do the whoops, a little bit of hopping going on there for Saves. Oh. That quad double option through there, a little bit tough. Excuse me, that time through for Holm. Oh, and now Saves makes a mistake. Excuse me. Just got something down the wrong pipe there for a minute. Pardon me. Saves makes a mistake, and Holm goes to the race lead. So Holm takes over the race lead, and Benjamin Saves goes down out of second place. That promotes Van Wessel into second place. Bordeaux to third. Davis now finds his way into fourth with Seth Shirley right there and Jack Haley. Wow. Talk about a stacked LCQ. There are some serious main event guys right here in the mix. I swear Seth Shirley was on a different team last week when he raced 250 West. I could be wrong. Dualies over the triple, though. They're scrub dualies, but they're still dualies. Oh, and Bordeaux just went down. Shirley had to come to a stop, so Haley's going to make a pass. Might make 3 passes down the inside of Devin Davis right here onto the start straight. And Davis gave him a run, but Haley around the outside holds it on. So got Adam Holm in the race lead, Van Wessel second, Haley third, and Davis now in fourth. Ooh, nice scrub there for Davis. Shirley as well. Oh, Shirley goes for the quad. He kind of cased it. Nice save. Look at Haley now working on Van Wessel for second. Rider down to the whoops. It is Jay Wilson, I believe, trying to get out of the way. Couldn't see who that was down with him at the end of the whoops, but he is currently laid sideways. Was that Haley? No, Haley's still right up here on the 2 and just got around Van Wessel as well. Hopping through this rhythm lane. Everybody looking smooth so far, but still the opportunity for things to kick off. Holm leads, Haley second, Van Wessel third. Shirley and Davis swapping fourth place back and forth. And if they continue to battle like this, they may allow someone else into the fray here. I think that's Leitzel and Alec Horn battling behind them. So right now, Shirley occupies 4th place, Davis 5th, Horn 6th, Leitzel 7th. I think that's Bordeaux back there in 8th. How about T-Lang, winner of 2 of the last 3 main events? Might not be going to the main event here tonight in Detroit. Man, that would be something for the 5, who has been so strong of late. Shirley just trying to keep close tabs on Joey Van Wessel, but just went a little bit long there on the triple. No harm, no foul. Double-double into the corner. Works out kind of similarly to the triple single. Matt Cromie going a lap down on the 504 as Leitzel closes up on D. Davis. But really, this spot by Shirley is the one to hold at the moment. White flag is waving. Shirley a bit short. Matt Cromie jumping up the inside, going down in front of Seth Shirley. Now Davis trying to close that spot back down again. White flag is out. Davis is close. Shirley might have to try to force something on Van Wessel just not to get put on the ground by Haley. 2/10 in it for our race lead as well. Haley, or by Davis, I should say. Haley is closed up onto our race leader, Adam Holm. They're going back and forth, coming down the start straight as Shirley just went down. So Holm, Haley, Van Wessel, and now Leitzel. So Davis got hung up in that chaos as well. Bordeaux, Shirley just gets going with Devin Davis coming onto the start straight. Tough luck, but now Van Wessel goes down. Oh, Leitzel's going to go through. There goes Bordeaux. Happy freaking birthday as Shirley goes down and rage quits. Van Wessel gets up still in 5th. If these guys get through this rhythm lane clean, they're good, and they do. Leitzel and Bordeaux joining Jack Haley and Adam Holm in the main event. What a weird finish to that LCQ. All right, so we'll wait for cuts to come through to officially confirm it, but right now, T-Lang is not going to the main event tonight. That's big news. Pop the timer up right now, so I got it. And just waiting on those cuts to come through, but I believe Adam Holm has got this race victory pretty well under lock. We'll have to see if anything else changes behind him. It's really where the keys would be. All right, one guy still to go, and not quite, almost. Any second now, might get there sometime this week. Whoever's backing up the finish line jump, you suck. Just go over the line, please. There we go. All right, so nothing changes in the top 4. Bordeaux, Leitzel, Haley, and Holm going to the main event. Van Wessel saves Lang, Donovan, Cody, Shields, Crotty, Parks, Davis, Shirley, Hall, Cromie, Turner, Joe, Horn, Burns, Post, Boutigny, all missing out. Big names for sure not going to the main event. Tough to see, but they'll all follow Adam Holm through here tonight in Detroit. All right, 250 main event time, round 5 of the East Division Championship. To this point, Tyron Tomic has been nearly untouchable, out to a 27-point lead in the championship, and it seems like it's just getting better from there. So we'll jump back into the intermission screen here for a moment while we get ready to drop the gate on this 250 main event. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. This one, of course, is going 15 minutes plus a lap for round 5 of the 250 East Division Championship. Can anybody stop Tyron Tomic? I mean, the man has been on a tear and hasn't won too many of the races. I think he's won 2 of the 4 so far, but man, looking solid. We'll see if he's able to keep the ball rolling here tonight in Detroit. Tony Spinelli says, Kellen, if you ever let me hop in the booth one of these race nights, I will happily buy you a beer and give you lawn cutting tips, maybe even some white New Balances. I have white New Balances. My wife's parents own a landscaping business, but I'll gladly take a beer, good sir. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to having people in the booth. It is better just having people in studio. I can't remember the last time I did someone just in booth, not in studio. It's been a couple of years now, but normally we have somebody come and be in studio, whether it was Jason Wygant, Andrew Wood was here. Want to get a couple pro riders in here as well. I know like guys like Justin Starling, Logan Carnow. Some of those guys actually watch these streams every week, so whenever they're down in SoCal, it'd be awesome to get them to come in studio and actually call these races with me. All right. Main event time here in Detroit. 250 main event coming up. Noah McLaughlin, Chase Blakely, Dylan Love, Austin Baer, Caden Speck, Bryce Whelan, Jake Fisher, John Heilman, Lane Wofford, Brett Powers, Carson West, Brandon Holmes, Cade Matherly, Tanner Scott, Trent Adams, Tyron Tomich, Frank Jackson, Cody Senega, Adrian Wilson, Nathan McLaughlin, Tanner Rogers, and Tyron Tomich. Didn't find him at first, but here is our championship leader. Yeah, the last person that was actually in studio was A-Wood. He was here for the opening round this season. There is a little bit of news on the front of Jason Wygant. I can't spill the beans just yet, but the prospect of Jason Wygant being back in studio for an entire race evening of MX Simulator action is seeming possible. I won't say likely just yet, but possible is very much the case at this point in time. We'll see if we can really make it happen, though, with the Weege. All right, folks, it is time to get the revs up and drop the gate in the Motor City. Round 5 of the 250 East Championship right now in Detroit. Here we go. Well, Tomich didn't get the jump. Let's see if he uses this inside line again. It didn't work out, though. RacefactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. It looks like it was either Lane Wofford on the Boots House Yamaha or Bryce Whelan as Whelan goes over to the race lead. So Whelan to the front. Right behind him, Carson West. Wofford in third. Senega. And then McLaughlin with Matherly. Holmes, Bear, Adams, and Dylan Love rounding out the top 10. We'll have to figure out where Tyron Tomich went through those first couple of rhythm sections. Definitely not a good start for the Australian, your championship leader. Oh, Whelan down with the race lead. He's off the side of the track. Carson West takes it over. There on the 486 iSpec Honda. His teammate, Elliot Person, won the opening round of the championship, but he is not here tonight, and he has had a rough go of it ever since that opening round victory. So let's see if Carson West could make it 2 iSpec Honda race victories in 2022. But it would be the first time in Carson West's career if he could get it done. Early race lead for the 486 machine. Wofford settling into second place now with McLaughlin right there in third. Cody Senega running in fourth. And Bryce Whelan, after his little slip up at the end of the whoops, now finds himself in fifth place. So Tomich, 16th at the end of the first lap, just ahead of John Heilman. That's some big names back there for sure. That is a tough go there for the 42 machine. We'll see how many points he might end up losing tonight, or could he fight all the way back through the field and end up gaining some points? Who to watch, who to watch. Let's go on board with Bryce Whelan, who just moved up to fourth here early on. I feel like Whelan going to try to weave his way back towards the front. He is the only rider of this front group that has ever won a Race Factor Gaming main event in either the 250 or the 450 class. I believe Whelan has actually won in both before, so certainly knows how to get it done. Going to try to do it again here tonight in Detroit. But he's got to get through Noah McLaughlin just ahead of him, Lane Wofford in second place, and Carson West, who continues to lead the race out front. The front four starting to gap the rest of the field just a little bit here early in 250 main event from Detroit. Down the inside, Whelan goes in the whoops on McLaughlin and into the berm and down. Rode that nose to the top and into the Davlos bales he goes. Also down is Frank Jackson on the 32. And Blakely on the 21 also going down at the end of the whoops. Boy, these 250 riders really having a tough time coming to grips right now. So we slip back to the front and continuing to lead the race now. 3 minutes in, 12 minutes still left on the clock. So plenty of time for Carson West to really think about this thing. He's got a bit of a gap established though, so a little bit of time between himself and Wofford behind on that Boots House Yamaha. Could be all the breathing space he needs to start putting in some clean laps out front, not to really think about what's going on. West scrubbing the finish line jump out front. Going to the outside double, Dragon's back double option. Lap time check real quick. So 51 flat last time by for Carson West. A 53.4 for Wofford. He's done a 51.5, but he's losing ground. 5-second lead now. Noah McLaughlin, 51.7. Moving up on Wofford now for second place. So the battle for P2 kind of heating up a little bit here. Swinging through that inside berm. McLaughlin getting that rear tire planted on the ground, and the power coming down the start straight. Wofford hopping through the whoops a little bit. Lucky that they ended when they did, because he was starting to get kicked sideways right there. McLaughlin trying to close up onto Wofford for second, but it seems like Wofford may have responded well to the pressure to this point, actually opened up the gap a little bit again. And of course, they're all still chasing Carson West out front. We'll go back to fourth place. Cade Matherly on the Stance Honda, the number 38 machine. He currently runs in fourth place, just jumped off the side of the track, but a nice recovery to get back on. Tanner Rogers, our fastest qualifier, he just went down. He was in fifth. Several riders going to hop over top of him, including our points leader. First sign we've seen of Tyron Tomic in this main event, trying to go to the outside of Brandon Holmes. And he is now up into ninth place is Tomic. So with 10 minutes still on the clock here, Tomic has a lot of work cut out for him, but still plenty of time to make some stuff happen here. Frank Jackson caught up in the corner right there with Cody Senega, who is also down. Tomic kind of checking Brandon Holmes through this rhythm section right now. Going to triple into the corner, go over that finish line jump just ahead of him. So good recovery to this point by Tomic. Now moving into, I believe this is seventh position for the Aussie. Just there behind Frank Jackson, yeah, who is in sixth. So seventh place for Tomic. He's actually only losing a couple points in the championship at this point in time. Not even, I think, because, right, he would need to have Tanner Rogers ahead of him to be losing points, and Rogers is behind him. Meanwhile, Carson West just finally made his first real big mistake out front. A little case on the triple in off the side of the racetrack right there. But a nice recovery. Wofford is still right there, as is McLaughlin. So Bryce Whelan has now recovered to find himself into fifth. And Tomic just got around Frank Jackson to get into sixth place. Triples down the inside to hold the position. The lap time check back here. 50.4, 49.9 out of Bryce Whelan, 51.5 for Matherly, 51.6 McLaughlin, 51.8 Wofford, and 51.9 Carson West. Fastest rider on the track and new fastest lap of the race by Bryce Whelan last time by. Only 4.4 seconds down of fourth place. And then from fourth place up to the race lead, it's kind of a bit of a freight train still. So we'll see whether or not Whelan can start to close this gap down on our race leaders with just over 8 minutes and a lap left to go in this main event. Well, that was Matherly down at the end of the whoops right there, so Whelan's going to close up right up on him. But they both just really messed up this rhythm section. Frank Jackson got back around Tomic. Tomic tripling over top of him is going to go back through, so more split decisions for these guys, and Tomic moves back into sixth place. Bryce Whelan trying to work on Cade Matherly for 4th, but he just made a mistake, so Matherly gets that position for now. And our leaders are essentially nose to tail here. The front 3, all 3 have never won a 250 main event in MotoOption Supercross. And boy, oh boy, would this be huge for any of them. Couple casing of the rhythm jumps there for West allows Wofford to close right in. McLaughlin lost a little bit of time through that rhythm section. Not sure if he made a mistake or what happened, but now Wofford has this thing under a second for the race lead. Boots House Yamaha against the I-Spec Honda. Carson West. See if Wofford has any situations figured out. He's going to get the triple-double into the corner and go to the race lead. Lane Wofford takes it over in Detroit. Halfway point is now behind us. We're in the second half of this main event, and it is on. A couple of guys that are looking for their first career main event victories going for it here in Detroit. West thought about it again, but backs out of the challenge. They're both going to double in, kind of make a couple mistakes. That's going to allow more of these riders to close down from behind. As up the inside, Carson West gets back by Wofford. Nobody really got that rhythm section very clean, but West gets back into the race lead. Back and forth we go. A couple fresh faces out front, and the pressure might be starting to get to him as West makes another mistake. Here comes Wofford again. Who gets the triple line clean here? Oh, West this time much better through there, and going down. Wofford did go down. So the 27 machine hits the deck. That is Whelan going over top on the 45 into 3rd place. So McLaughlin assumes 2nd place as Carson West continues to lead the race here with 5.5 minutes to go. Whelan now just 7.4 down. Wofford back to 10 seconds down. He's in a battle with Cade Matherly. As getting sideways in front of them is Austin Bear. Matherly trying to close up and get this position stolen away to move into 4th place if he can. This race is far from over, and there's certainly some fireworks still to be had in this 250 East main event. How is it going to shake down? Carson West looking for his first career race victory. Holds a narrow lead over Noah McLaughlin. The 124 limited decal ride closing up on our race leader Carson West. Only a little over a second in it, 1.6 to be exact. Who's going to get that drive in the whoops? Looks like West got through it pretty clean, but McLaughlin really just skimming right across the top of him very smoothly right there. Tripling in. A bit overzealous though. Almost went down. Now teammates getting involved. Trying to see who that is. That's the 146 machine right there. McLaughlin's teammate on the limited decal Husqvarna program. So that would be Tanner Scott. Watching his teammate trying to win this main event, and probably a little bit stressed out for him. As Wofford's still lurking back here in 3rd place, starting to close that gap down a little bit. And it seems as though the pressure from behind with Bryce Whelan starting to close in has exacerbated a little bit. Cade Matherly has gotten around him. So Carson West, under 4 minutes to go in this main event. Carson West looking for an insane first win of the season and a first win of his career, but the second of the season for I-Spec, when his teammate Elliott Person also picked up his first career win at the opening round of 250 East in Minneapolis. This would be quite the story if Carson West could get it done here in Detroit. Looking smooth out front right now. McLaughlin, 5.7 down. Starting to deal with a little bit of pressure now from Lane Wofford. Matherly's still there right behind Whelan. Frank Jackson and Tyron Tomich inside the top 7. Trent Adams running in 8th. Johnny Padani down there in P9. But Tanner Rogers rounding out the top 10. But at any point in time, this race could get flipped on its head if Carson West goes down or any of our top 5 really goes down, because they're still pretty close together. and certainly for West out front. The pressure is going to start mounting, leading the race this late into main event. Step on, step off. Checks up to scrub the triple nicely. I mean, he's hitting all of his marks, so you can say for him, but McLaughlin got that gap starting to close down. I wonder if West made a mistake. 54.4 last time by. It's down to 1.9. That pressure is certainly starting to seep through with 2 minutes remaining on the clock in Detroit. This would almost be a heartbreaker now if West doesn't get this done. But McLaughlin, he also wants to win. Wofford wants to win this main event. Could be any one of them. Or perhaps they'll all get together. Cade Matherly was sitting back there. Might have a shot. Here comes McLaughlin. To the inside before the finish line jump. A little mistake, though. Off the side of the jump. Over that finish line jump. So lost a little bit of ground, but he's still lurking right there in the background. And Carson West now knows he's there. So how will the 486 machine respond? From the pressure right behind him, as opposed to having a bit of a gap. Maybe this will light a fire underneath of him again, or maybe he'll make a mistake. Here we go. McLaughlin side by side. He'll cut back up underneath. Well, West goes defensive. Riders down coming into the corner. The battle for the lead and the battle for the win is on in Detroit. 1 minute remains on the clock. It's going to be very close with timing and scoring. McLaughlin, quad, double to the inside. Not quite close enough to take the lead just yet. Oh boy, it's going to be close next time by as they cross the line again to see whether or not they'll get another lap. Or maybe they'll get together and things will really kick off with Wofford still lurking back there behind these guys. Carson West, Noah McLaughlin, each looking for their first career main event victories. I think everybody inside the top 4 is looking for their first win of their careers. Oh, this 250 East Championship is providing for us. Lap traffic might come into play just a little bit. Hopping through the whoops. Oh, it's going to be so close. 6 seconds. Oh, McLaughlin down. Oh, he cased the triple in and went down. 2 seconds. 1. Carson West sees the white flag waving. Huge sigh of relief right there. It is now going to be up to Wofford to try to close the gap down, but West has time in hand. Really, if he takes it easy on this last lap, he should be good to go. I'd imagine he's going to go 2-3-3-2 through this next section, but I'd even double the last section if I were him. You don't even need it. 2-3-3-2. Got it clean. Swings around. Drive down the start straight. The whoops will be critical. Got to get him clean one final time. Up on top. Nice and smooth, clipping the top of each one. Well done, Sunshine. All right, what is he going to do? Double. Double again. Oh, he is doubling his way through. Double again. Double again for the first time in his career. How about it, folks? Carson West, your winner tonight in Detroit. Unbelievable scenes. Lane Wofford, I believe that's a career best for him in second as Whelan rounds out the podium. McLaughlin, a frustrating 4th after it's all said and done, as Tomic claws his way back into 5th to, I believe, extend his championship lead in the end. Johnny Padani with a 6th. Matherly drops to 7th. Frank Jackson in 8th. Trent Adams 9th. And Dylan Love rounds out the top 10. Brandon Holmes in 11th. Chase Blakely ends up in 12th in this one. Brett Powers 13th. Rogers, Senega, Heilman, Speck, Scott, Bear, McLaughlin again, Fisher, and Adrian Wilson. That'll be the runners here tonight. Cuts are in. Race winner has been confirmed. Carson West, first career main event victory for the 486 I-Spec Honda. Incredible. Wow, first time winner. Love to see it. Oh boy, folks. Well, if you thought that race was good, I feel like this 450 main event, judging by what we've seen these last few weeks in MotoOption Supercross, might just be better. The racing's been insane. Alexis Leclerc and Braden Carter's rivalry has been insane. 1 point between them. If anything, this might be the closest it gets all year. We hope it goes to the final round of the championship. But at least for right now, we can live in the glory that these guys are 11 rounds deep into a championship, and Leclerc holds a narrow 1 point advantage over Braden Carter in this championship. Whew. All right, folks, are you guys ready for this one? 450 main event coming up here in Detroit. Who is going to break through and win this main event? I'll ask the chat tonight. Who have you guys got to win this main event? Will it be Carter? Will it be Leclerc? Payson Johnson? Colby Eaglin? Could be any of those guys. Could be one of our LCQ guys like Adam Holm or Jack Haley. Could be Matthias Janis breaking through for his first career main event victory. We do know it will not be Tyler Lang, though, the two-time winner of this season. Not making it through out of the last chance qualifier. Excuse me. Gonna be good. All right. Ayo Riley CS, I think, or Rylix, says Carter all the way. Your adopted kid wants Payson Johnson to win this main event. Russell Watson is voting for Eli Tomac. There is no number 3 out there. No Dennis Fjellberg this week, so we don't know if Tomac's going to get the win tonight. Should be good, though. Leclerc looking like he's faltering a little bit in the midpoint of this championship. He'd been very solid through the California swing. Since we've gone east, he really hasn't been as solid. I'm not saying it's bad at all, but definitely not able to convert on as many race victories as I think you would hope. And at this point now, just has that 1 point championship lead to try to hold on to. Either way, this is going to be good. It's essentially the 10th round, or essentially the 12th round, I should say. But it's actually just the 10th round of MotoOption Supercross, the Detroit makeup race. We weren't racing a few weeks ago when Detroit was meant to happen, but we're ready to drop the gate in the Motor City. This should be fun, folks. 1 point in it between Carter and Leclerc. Here we go in Detroit. No surprise to see Leclerc get a good jump, but he gets together with a few riders and Adam Holm went down. Braden Carter, RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. The one machine gets out front, and Leclerc was caught up in some melee behind. It's Carter from Magnetti. Janis there on the 14 in third place early on, with I think Johnson on the 51 moving into fourth. This is just where Carter wanted to be. Read that very well as well, with Leclerc pushing wide into the first corner. Carter just snuck up the inside like we've seen so many times here tonight, and came out with the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award as Castellaneta in 5th place, just behind these guys as Johnson goes to work, trying to make a pass into 3rd place on Janis. Trying to keep an eye on where Leclerc is. I think he might be a little bit further back, just outside the top 10, perhaps? Yeah, it's not good so far for the 7 as Carter leads at the end of lap number 1. This could be his opportunity to take the championship lead right here in Detroit. Wow, Leclerc still not seeing the 7 over the line just yet. Seabolt's back there, Bordeaux, and Leclerc is dead last after 1 lap here in Detroit. Wow. Got a lot of work to do for the Frenchman. Carter leads from Magnetti, Janis, and Johnson. And this battle for second starting to brew a little bit. Magnetti under pressure. Here's Johnson for an inside move on Janis. Not quite close enough just yet, though. Oh, man, Johnson thought he might be casing that. Ends up clearing it just fine. Now might make a pass up the inside of Janis over the finish line jump. Hooks that inside line. Double. And then down the backside of the Dragon's back triple into the corner. easily done in the end. Johnson, nice move into third place. So Janis settles back into fourth behind him, just ahead of his teammate Castellaneta. And there's the quad by Johnson. That might be the difference maker in this main event. We'll have to see whether or not Carter's busting it out, but that quad by Johnson's going to be huge in making up time if possible. So he's gotten right up onto Magnetti, trying to make a pass on the 19 machine. Adept Creative Co. Yamaha versus the Panini Motorsports Yamaha of Payson Johnson. Peeking up the inside. Crossover line there for Magnetti, just going for that kind of apex line into the corner, so closing the door on Johnson. But a good battle for second starting to brew here. And we'll see whether or not Johnson, again, is able to bust out maybe one of the quads. You either go 3-4-3 or 3-3-4 through this rhythm section as the preferred option. So what does Johnson do? 3 in, 3 again, and not quite good enough to get the 4 this time because he was a little bit long on the middle 3 there. So getting that rear tire planted, coming down the start straight. And the pace of these guys out front is incredible. Looks like Jack Haley might just been picking himself up from a crash in the background there. Couldn't tell who he was down with, but it may have been one of the Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda riders. As Johnson continues to scrub it down mid-rhythm. He's going to go wide here to try to get a run for the finish line. Scrub it down. And wide here again. Doubling across the start straight. Dragons back to double. Honestly, didn't think either of those lines really worked, but maybe, just maybe, he's setting himself up to try to bust out one of these quads in the rhythm lanes. So what has he got? 3? 3 again? And not quite. These guys just going a little bit long on that mid-3. Not able to set themselves up for the quad into the corner. So Carter continues to lead the race. Magnetti second. Johnson third. Janis in fourth. Sullivan in fifth. Cochran finds his way into 6th place. Vanderbeek 7th. Leitzel in 8th. Might be trying to make a pass on Vanderbeek, but Vanderbeek shuts the door. Nicely done by the Belgian. Wilcox in 9th. And Eagland rounds out our top 10. Castellaneta in 11th. Adam Holm in 12th. Seabolt in 13th. Wilson 14th. Nygren 15th. Hubbard 16th. Smith in 17th. Bordeaux 18th. And Leclerc still back here in 19th position. He's got a lot of riders right in front of him trying to make some quick passes, but man, this is not going well whatsoever for the 7, who entered tonight with a narrow 1-point advantage in the championship. Oh, Jeremy Smith cross-jump by Bordeaux, so the 4 machine goes down. That promotes Leclerc into 18th. And a couple more riders going down right here. I think that was maybe Nygren on the 47 going down, so up to 17th for Leclerc, getting a good indication of what it's like to be with Leclerc as he tries to work through some lap traffic. 2, 3, 3, 2. Up to the outside corner here, trying to get a run down the start straight. But Bordeaux hooked that inside rut very nicely, so he's able to get a bit of a gap established in his own right there. I want to see what Leclerc's able to actually put down for lap time. He did a 49.3, but in traffic, can he go any faster than that, or is he kind of stuck to what he's doing right here? Still right on Bordeaux. So 49.6 and Bordeaux 49.7. Yeah, pretty much just stuck matching the pace of the 40 machine ahead of him. Couple Frenchmen right here. Leclerc might force the issue on him, and he does. So makes that pass, but Bordeaux's trying to fight back over the Supercross triple they go. But Leclerc will have the inside line right here. Bordeaux's still fighting back. Look at that. 40 machine making the Frenchman work for it, and Leclerc just shorts that jump, so Bordeaux goes back by. So even down in the 17th position, Leclerc is not making too many inroads right now. Kind of struggling, I think, really to figure out his option lines with this racetrack. There is a lot of flow and finesse to figure out as Seabolt's going to short the quad right there, allow Jaden Wilson, his teammate, up the inside to go through. All right, let's head back out front where Carter just laid it down in the whoops and somehow didn't fall off the bike. Very lucky not to have an instant legs off when you land that hard on the side. And I think he may have just actually clipped the collision file of the bike instead of the rider. Would have definitely lost the lead if he went down because it's just 2.5 back to Magnetti. It was about 4 seconds. But a nice save in the end by Carter to regroup And we'll see if he can maybe start stretching that lead back out again like he was early on in this main event. We're at about 7 minutes into this thing, so 13 minutes still on the clock. And Braden Carter is in a prime position to, at the very least, take over the championship lead, but might do so with authority by winning the main event and have a bit of chunk of change left in hand with the championship lead if Leclerc continues to struggle at this stage of it. So Magnetti still back here in second, but once again, here comes Payson Johnson trying to close it down again. So the 51 machine kind of yo-yoing a little bit. He ended up back in fourth at one point, so he was even back there behind Castellaneta, I believe it is, who is in third, or who was in third. Or was it Janice, perhaps? Either way, here's Johnson. Let's see if he can bust the quad this time. No, still not going for it. So Johnson just isn't happy with something in that rhythm lane. He's happy with this, though. Drag race down the start straight, and Johnson finally completes the pass for second place. So we'll see now if the 51 machine can start putting down some burner laps, try to close this gap down to our race leader, Braden Carter, out front. Triple over, triple, quad, double through this rhythm lane, carrying good speed throughout. 48.9, 49 flat, so nothing really gained right there. Pretty much just evened out in terms of lap times, and now Johnson going a little bit long into that corner. But I want to see, maybe if he has clean track, will he bust out one of the quads? Still feel like those quads are going to be kind of critical to working his way forward. So trying to scrub that triple down. No, maybe he's just trying to play it safe at this point. I mean, the gap is coming down. It's down to 3.6. He's still got pressure from behind with Magnetti just hot on his heels. But now he's got clean air. I'm curious to see a lap time getting right on top of the whoops right here. And down he goes. That was not the lap rider's fault. That was Johnson just getting the end of the whoops wrong. But again, we're starting to see more and more mistakes from these guys. And they give themselves razor-thin margins by clicking into fifth gear in the whoops, because what it does is allow them to carry more like brunt of the speed throughout the whoops. If they're in first or second gear, they're always at a peak out level. They're not actually gaining momentum. If they're in fifth, they can actually slowly pick up speed throughout the whoops and start slow and go faster. But they just are on razor-thin margins because they get a little bit something wrong, and they're going so fast. There's not much time to recover from a mistake like that, as we saw there with Johnson going down at the end of the whoops. So Johnson slips back to third. Janice there in fourth. Eagland, nice job to claw all the way up into fifth place. Still a bit of a long shot here at a title fight. Needs to really gain some points back on either Carter or Leclerc, and he's losing quite a few points right now to Carter, of course, who continues to lead the race. But at the very least, he's gaining some points on Leclerc, which could be pivotal later in this championship. Luke Sullivan back here in sixth spot as we just crest the halfway point of this main event. Sullivan casing the quad and going down. So Leitzel goes by, Vanderbeek goes by, Seabolt lands on him. Jumping over top of them, there was a lapped rider, I believe. Yeah, so Sullivan gets going again, still in eighth spot. Seabolt regroups now in ninth. Jaden Wilson in 10th, and Leclerc has made it up to 11th now at the halfway point. So still a lot of time left in play. Kind of want to see an indicator where everybody is. So Leclerc, first two sections ahead of him, he's got two straightaways up to P5, which is Eagland. So that's possible. Thinking it's more likely he gets to someone like Sullivan, maybe Vanderbeek. Depends on how the crashing goes in the second half of this main event, though. See where Leclerc could make it, not necessarily where he will. He could stay in 11th or even go backwards if things fall apart for the Frenchman. But he does have some teammates ahead of him. I'm not sure how much they'll help out. He does ride for Safe Moon, but he's backed by Panini Motorsports. As you can see, his bike is completely similar to the two riders that are right in front of him right now, Jaden Wilson and Jeremy Seabolt. So we'll see whether or not they maybe play a little bit of team game here, or at the very least don't make it too difficult for Leclerc to pass. Either way, still a lot of ground to make up for number 7 machine. All right, back to our race leader, Braden Carter, in a perfect position out front. Got the whole shot to this point, has led every single lap of the main event. Only a couple of small mistakes here and there. He had that big moment at the end of the whoops, and then lost a little bit of ground to Payson Johnson once Johnson got into second, but then as we just saw, Johnson went down moments ago, so lost that second position back to Luke Magnetti. There's another mistake, though. Carter, another mistake there, and it looks like Johnson has gotten back around Magnetti, so that gap will come down once again. Suddenly, it's not 5 seconds anymore. It's 3.3. So here we go. Fight for the lead might be starting to heat up a little bit if Johnson can put some laps together here. Facing some rhythm jumps, but still busting the quad right there. 3.6, 49.1. Last time through, a 51.1 for Carter. So 2 seconds gained that time by, but we saw the big mistake coming onto the start straight there for Carter, which kind of a double fold of a mistake, because if he slides out coming onto the start straight, he has very limited speed down the start straight, whereas these guys can run full song. Johnson likely getting into fifth gear going down that long straightaway. There's the quad. So Johnson quadding to the corner right here. That'll gain him a lot of time right there. Pretty much a whole second gain down from 3.5 to 2.5 or so. And the race for the lead is going to heat up if Johnson can keep putting stuff like that down. I want to do one more lap time check before we go back to camera mode here and see where we're at. Johnson doesn't get the preferred option right here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he still went for that. And ends up doing a 49.2 despite a dreadful last rhythm section. Carter didn't get it very clean either. So if Johnson had gotten it clean, it would be a lot closer right now. But 2 seconds in it, Johnson is starting to close this thing down. And Carter may not have this thing as in the bag as he would have hoped at this stage of it after leading every single lap of the race to nearly the 14-minute mark of this main event to this point. Luke Sullivan, nicely done, getting out of the way. Johan Bordeaux on the 40 will be next in line to be put a lap down. So these guys are not that far behind Leclerc, maybe about 6 seconds. Leclerc just went over the finish line jump ahead of these two. So Carter at this point most certainly will take the championship lead. It's really about how much. He had a 1-point deficit to Leclerc entering tonight. And with the opportunity presenting itself to maybe even lap Leclerc in this main event, seemingly very likely that Carter leaves with the championship lead. Johnson might have something to say about the race win, though. As here comes the 51, who went to quad into the corner and plows the ground heavily. Nice job not to actually fall off the bike, but suddenly he had closed well up to right behind him, only a second down, and it's back to 4 seconds out. 47.9 last time by, though. How about Payson Johnson's lap times there, as going down in front was Luke Sullivan. Braden Carter, let's see, is he still trying to catch Leclerc? Is Leclerc just ahead of him? So Leclerc might be going the other way. Yeah, it looks like I just saw Leclerc going off the Supercross triple the other direction, which means Leclerc is now in 11th spot still. Not much has changed. So Leclerc 11th, Holm up to 10th, Siebold in 9th, Wilson 8th, Leitzel 7th, Vanderbeek 6th, Eagland in 5th, Janis in 4th, Magnetti holding on to 3rd, with Johnson just ahead of him, and Carter going the other direction in the whoops as your race leader still. So will Carter lap Leclerc? It's closing up a little bit. He's getting close enough to think about it. It's pretty much the only drama we have to think about at this point, because Johnson's not too close. There is Leclerc just going out of frame at the bottom right-hand side of your screen, as Carter just sees so many points floating his way as he continues to close up on Leclerc. And yeah, I mean, it really goes back to that start in tonight's main event, where Leclerc banging bars into the first corner, ran it a little deep, got collected with a couple other riders, and then I think even crashed in the second rhythm lane as well, and maybe even one more time before the first lap was over, because he crossed the line at the end of the first lap down in 22nd place, so dead last. Got to commend him for the job to charge all the way back to 11th, but certainly not an ideal scenario for him where Carter is going to take the championship lead and probably win this race as well. Looks like Leclerc's actually extended the gap on Carter as Magnetti has now moved into second place. Janice is now third. Johnson has slipped back to fourth, so Johnson really starting to struggle here with consistency. Castellaneta is still back there just in case things really kick off. Oh, Johnson. Not looking pretty, but he's going to get there somehow and still make the pass on Janice to get back into third place. Both are really struggling through that rhythm section. And Johnson able to go by. So here is Magnetti, the next rider in which Johnson would like to catch for second place. Janice back there. Got Eagland in 5th, Vanderbeek 6th, Seabolt 7th, Wilson 8th, and Leclerc is now 9th with Leitzel 10th. I think Leitzel will be getting the blue bar. Yeah, so blue bar is out for Leitzel. For those of you that don't know what the blue bar is, I'll show you real quickly. So if I turn off our bottom bar, you'll see at the bottom of the screen right there, Leitzel's got a blue bar with the 1 on it. And of course, 1 is Carter. And 2.5 seconds back is Braden Carter. So now when you get the blue bar, it's not a rule to move out of the way the second you get the blue bar, but there is a penalty if you ignore the blue bar and the rider is close enough. Usually close enough in terms of a race situation is within a second of the blue bar. So 2.6, really you can still race ahead. You don't have to think about what's going on behind you. But as it closes down, these guys will have to start thinking a little bit about Carter being back there and adhering to the blue flag, lest they get a penalty for ignoring those blue flags being waved. So just something for these guys to think about in the closing stages of this main event. We're now down to 1 minute left on the clock here in Detroit. And thus far, it has been a gate drop to flag kind of night for our race leader, Braden Carter. And it looks like not much is going to change from there. He's got a big gap back to Janice in second place behind him. As looks like Magnetti and Johnson just got together. That's going to promote Eagland into 4th as Magnetti gets going alongside Brandon Nygren, but Maxime Vanderbeek isn't quite close enough just yet to make a pass on Magnetti. He'll be close, but not close enough. So nice move there for Eagland to get into 4th. Might still have a late shot at a podium here, depending on how things shake up. And with Carter checking in out front again with still about 10 seconds on the clock, that will be 2 laps to go here in Detroit. Well, I was talking to some people at the end of the main event last week and earlier today about, are we just going to get a normal one of these main events? Because I'll tell you what, folks, Daytona, Indy, Seattle, all were some of the best main events maybe we've ever had in MotoOption Supercross. And look, I've been around this game and this series for over a decade now, and I have seen a lot of snoozers in terms of main events. I've seen a lot of Tyson Frisquez checkouts, Brian Haskell checkout victories. So it's been a while, I feel like, since we've really had someone dominate the sport or anything along those lines. And now it's been definitely a while since we've had just a lights to flag main event victory. But Braden Carter, as he takes the white flag, is certainly giving us one of those performances here tonight. The defending champion, looking for what I believe will be his 4th main event win of the season on that number 1 Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda, will take over the championship lead with this race victory as well. So this is exactly what he was hoping to accomplish here tonight in Detroit. Wasn't the easiest whole shot to flag victory, and it's still not over just yet, but he'll be perfectly solid to get going still in the race lead. Wasn't quite the easiest one. Definitely had to deal with a little bit of pressure. Had a near fall in the whoops here on the 8th or 9th lap of the race, and then the pressure from Johnson closing up behind. But in the end, he made it look pretty easy in the second half of this race, and this is going to be a very welcome sight to see the checkered flag. Here it is in Detroit, folks. Braden Carter gets it done in the Motor City. Matthias Janis will bring it home in second place. Mason Johnson looking to round out the podium. Eaglin's trying to close up late. Let's see if Johnson stays on 2 wheels these last 2 sections. And he will. So Johnson 3rd, Eaglin 4th, Magnetti slips back to 5th, and Maxime Vanderbeek up into 6th. Siebold in his return ride to MotoOption Supercross will end up in 7th. Oh, Leclerc went down, and it cost him 2 spots in the end. So Leitzel goes through. Leclerc was up to 8th. Leitzel's going to go through, but he goes down right before the flag. So Jaden Wilson will get 8th, and Leclerc will just barely get 9th. Casey Cochran only 0.8 down in the end. Leitzel there in 11th. Castellaneta, first guy a lap down, and Leclerc will get 9th confirmed. So 9th place for Leclerc, the win for Carter. Of course, 26 points for Carter. The 9th place for Leclerc earns him 14 points. Right there, folks, a 12-point swing in the championship. Braden Carter, your new championship leader, going into the 13th round at St. Louis next week. It's an 11-point advantage for Carter with 5 rounds of this series to go. We have got St. Louis, Foxborough, St. Louis, Atlanta, Foxborough, Denver, and Salt Lake still left to go on this schedule. And that is Detroit done. So we've made up Detroit, got that out of the way. Finally, Detroit is behind us. And we are officially 12 rounds into this MotoOption Supercross series, and we have a new championship leader in the 450 class. Braden Carter back on top, holding that red plate by 11 points over Alexis Leclerc. So we'll see if Leclerc can rebound in a week's time in St. Louis. Of course, big shout out to Carson West, his first career main event victory in the 250 class earlier tonight. And want to give a big shout out to RaceFactoryGaming.com, putting on these races, the track crew, and everybody putting it together. T-Lang for hosting. Was supposed to be an off week for everybody here at Race Factory, so cool that we all got together, still ran this race, made it happen. The sponsors behind it all, MotoOption Clothing, for their decade-long support of MotoOption Supercross, Race Tech Suspension, Filski and Snowboard Underground RC, MXS Lobby, OGL Paco, Tagger Designs, everybody involved in the series for help putting it on. Big shout out to R Jerky and Hinson Clutch Components for backing our streams here on Start Your Systems. And of course, a huge shout out to every single one of you guys that tune in and watch these races every single week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Been a fun night of racing here in Detroit, and we'll be back in a week's time for round 13 of MotoOption Supercross in St. Louis. We'll see you guys then. So long for now.